First, then Saudi Arabia's bombed Houthi rebel positions in southern Yemen, hours after claiming it would end its Decisive Storm military campaign there. The Gulf Kingdom had declared the operation a success.
The coalition has completed the Decisive Storm campaign at the request of the Yemeni government and the President of Yemen. The primary goals of the campaign have been achieved and sovereignty has been protected.
Yemen's been battered by the airstrikes for almost a month. The human cost of the bombings and latest fighting has been high.
Allahu Akbar!
Well, Saudi Arabia is not done with Yemen just yet. Riyadh's already launched another operation now called Renewal of Hope, and the goals of the supposedly new campaign are strikingly similar to those of the predecessor. Let's examine both on the news wall here. Well, Operation Decisive Storm initially was aimed at bringing peace to Yemen, and ditto the Renewal for Hope, as you can see. Another aim was vanquishing the Houthi rebels who ousted President Hadi. Well, that's still on the Saudis' to-do list as well, if you look between the two. Airstrikes, well, they were key for Riyadh to achieve its goals in Decisive Storm. It also says it will continue with a targeted bombardment of Houthi positions, so that's the same. There is a difference, though. Saudi Arabia has now added diplomacy to its tactical plan for Yemen. And when it comes to diplomacy, the situation in Yemen remains confused. The rebels say they've had no contact with either the Saudis or ousted President Hadi. Well, let's bring in political analyst Dr. Bassem Abu Abdallah joining us now on the line. Sir, thanks for you being on the programme here. So the Saudis now want to bring diplomacy into the arena. They want to talk. The problem is, who are they going to be talking to?
First of all, I should mention that Saudi Arabia failed in its aggression against Yemeni people because if we will talk about the targets which they put 27 days ago, nothing happened. The President Hadi, he is still in Riyadh, and the Houthi movement is still moving and fighting against Al-Qaeda, and nothing happened except the human cost of the Yemeni people. At the same time, I don't think with what is the role of Saudi Arabia in internal affairs of Yemen. Yemeni people can talk. It's internal dialogue. I think the United Nations or international community should help. And Saudi Arabia should stop its terrorist policy in the Middle East, starting from Syria to Iraq to Lebanon to Yemen. This Wahhabi movement should stop. Should the international community tell Saudi Arabia that this kind of policy of extremism and hate and violence should be stopped.
But let's just focus for a second, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Let's just focus for a second, sir,
yes,
on Yemen and try to work out what Saudi Arabia is doing here. This initial operation called Decisive Storm we hear now has ended. As I've just pointed out to our viewers, there's a new operation called Renewal of Hope, as they've called it. Is it a PR stunt? What is it? Because both operations look pretty much the same if you look at their aims.
I think generally Saudi Arabia now, if it will work in diplomacy, they cannot enforce its conditions. The situation is changing a lot inside Yemen. The Yemeni people more unified, and I think the Saudi family in the eyes of Yemeni people collapsed already. No Saudis, the role of Saudis is as a killer, or most of Yemeni. So now I think Iran, Russia, maybe now Washington, we have heard some statements from the White House that they should help Saudi Arabia to find a solution. Otherwise, if Saudi Arabia will invade Yemen through ground troops, I think we will see what I can call it the starting point for the end of the Saudi family. It's a very dangerous game. And Saudis should understand that there is nobody in the international community or either in the region supporting them. Maybe United States supporting this aggression because they want to sell some or to buy some weapons to Saudis. But at the end of the day, I think what President Obama mentioned in New York Times 5th of April for Saudi family and other Gulf states that they should look to their internal affairs. At the same time, Saudis, when they are speaking about legitimacy of President Hadi, at the same time, they are ignoring the legitimacy of President Assad in Syria. So these double standards has no legal basis to talk. If they are afraid from independent state in Yemen, this is another question. I think they should to take into consideration that many things changed in the region, and one of the important things that Saudis should change themselves before talking about other states.
Pleasure to have you in the programme. Thanks for your thoughts. Sorry we're out of time there. Dr. Bassem Abu Abdallah, political analyst on the line. Thank you.